Let's move down though, close towards the escarpment where the Angamas are, and in order for us to be able to do that, you'll have to go into Jamie's car, under her covers, and see if that rain is letting up.
I think it's let up. I don't know whether to trust it or not. In fact, I'm not sure what to believe anymore. Ferg and I were sitting quite peacefully. We knew it was raining, but it was only about 1 or 2 drops, and then all of a sudden it was absolute sheer chaos. My jacket is a bit, well, drenched. That's all right. I've got a jersey. And we had to do a very rapid deployment of our covers. Unfortunately, in the process of applying a mesh to the top of our roof to make it stronger, the covers appeared to no longer fit. So we find ourselves in a rather dire situation here. So I'm trying to escape the rain now that it's let up a little bit. I'm trying to get away towards, I don't really know where to go. The first downpour caught me completely by surprise. I'm sure this man is going to come and ask me where the lions are, and I'm going to tell him I don't know, because I had to drive away to get out of the car, then they got up, and now they're gone. Beelining straight for me. Bet you. 100 shillings, Ferg? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's exactly what's going to happen. Oh man, now I'm going to tell him that I lost them. He's going to be so disappointed in me. He's got 6 wheels. And the opposite of 6 wheels would be Tina on Safari's question of... Shame, he's wondering why I'm ignoring him now. Just hold on, sorry. Hi, how are you? Well, we had the lions, but I lost them when we were putting the covers down.
They're not to be?
I lost them when we put the covers down.
For real?
Yeah, they went towards the escarpment, but I don't know where they went. It started raining hard.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had to move away so we could put this down.
Okay. I saw you like giving me a sign or something. I thought maybe there is something here.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't mean that. Wasn't what I meant to do at all.
Ah, okay.
Pole.
No, there's a guy who told me the same, but I don't know which way they went. He told me to take that road there.
Yeah, they went somewhere in this direction.
Okay.
But I don't know where they went exactly, because I had to move away.
Okay, he told me to take the road in the middle there.
Yeah.
I'll meet them on the way.
Yeah, I think you probably will.
Okay, nice.
Okay. Alright, enjoy. Right, what are we talking about? From 6 wheels to 3-legged animals. Tina on safari, yes, we do. Especially hyena. It's very common, well, common is perhaps the wrong word. The most likely animal you're going to see with 3 legs is a hyena. You occasionally see 3-legged wild dogs. I have seen lions only using 3 legs, but I've never seen a 3-legged lion in the wild. I've never seen one that's lost a leg. And... It is possible. Generally speaking, when you're talking about prey animals, the 3-legged ones are highly unlikely to survive because they're not fast enough to get away from the predators. Makes them a very easy target, makes them a very obvious target, and inevitably they're caught and eaten.
That does sound like a bit of a tragedy, Jamie. Although, well, it is a bit of a tragedy for the steenbok, but I think it's a very nice story for beautiful Shadow and her cub. I think that's the wonderful thing about creatures out here in the wild. Like, obviously we stress because we get emotionally attached to them and we don't want them to suffer, and I think it's a very human response, just being able to have this empathy towards other species. But I think it speaks wonders for them just how resilient they are. You can never write any of these animals off. Like, even with Shadow's very bad limp, look at her, she's even still providing for her cub, which I think is a wonderful thing. So beautiful. I think she wants to feed, and I think she's moved a little bit closer to the cub because she's also now getting a bit hungry, but the cub is not too happy. Look at that growling going on and that hissing. just straight at the cub. I think Shadow is just, reassuring the little one that she's the one that made the kill and she is going to eat. Stevie, you're wondering if they always let the cub eat first. Well, now that she's brought back the cub likely hasn't fed for a few days. So yes, she's going to allow the cub to feed first. But also remember, when we got here, she had already fed on the steenbok a little bit. So I think she's probably still very hot. We can see her panting still quite heavily. She went all the way to fetch the cub, came for a drink, and then carried back here. But when she wants to feed, no doubt that she'll lay down the law and tell the cubs, like, no, it's my turn to eat now, so give me the carcass. She is looking so big. Look at that pretty face. So yeah, they do. They're like, when they, just going back to your question, now thinking of all the experience that I've had with mother leopards bringing their cubs back to a kill, often they'll just let them go ahead first, but also on, I would say, 98% of the cases where I've seen it, they've also already fed a bit on the carcass, and that's why they've brought them back in and they're happy to have them. And like I said, I think Shadow is working up her appetite. The cub is very skinny, or in the sense that likely she hasn't fed for a few days, or she hasn't had a very good meal in a few days, so she hasn't stopped eating. She's trying to eat as much as she can to try and get as much food in as possible, because, well, the kill is on the ground, so there are other potential creatures that could come and try to get the kill from them, and I'm sure she's just hungry. Who knows, maybe Shadow will be a little bit hungry later, a little bit angry and hungry, and then she'll take the carcass from the cub, or she'll start feeding, and then just move the cub a little bit away. So pretty. Look at that cub, and those pretty paws, and the way she already knows what to do. You see, Shadow is still very hot, so I reckon she's actually been walking for quite a bit. Because her panting, it's not, I've actually even put on a jersey. I think that was a bit of optimistic, because now I'm actually very hot, but it just gives you an idea that it's not that hot, so she shouldn't actually still be panting, but I think it's more for the effort of what she's done, of going all the way where she's gone and then come back all the way, and who knows how long she's actually been hunting. Perhaps she's actually been hunting all throughout the day. I'm sure she only made this kill sometime either during midday or the middle of the day after drive, or sometime during the drive, or late during the drive this morning, just judging by how much meat there is and by the state of the little steenbok carcass. Maisie, you're wondering until what age talking about hoisting, somebody's being optimistic and putting on a show. So they're nursed until they're about maybe 6-7 months old, and but they are introduced to meat when they're just about a few weeks old. So normally when they're about maybe 6 to 8 weeks old, milk stops being enough, or not being enough for them to be able to grow, so the mothers start introducing them to kills. So either they'll start bringing smaller things to the den site wherever it is that they leave them, or more often than not, once they become a little bit more mobile, when they're about 3 months old or so, then they start moving them around from den site to den site, bringing them to kill sites. And well, it's still happening a few months later. She's left the cubs somewhere that she deems safe, and then she went on hunting, and then her hunting, oh, look at that aggression between the two of them. Definitely having a mother-daughter moment here. And she's gone back to fetch the cub and then brought it all the way back here so that she can feed. Oy, oy. Yeah, Mama said it's her turn to eat. Oh, shame, now she's sulking. Oh, so pretty. Yeah, I think, well, it's hard to tell from here, but I think Shadow's actually had a few bites, and now she's just let the cub know, and I wonder if the cub is actually going to go around the other way and come back from the other side of the tree and try her luck again. So obviously Shadow's made this kill, so she also needs to feed from it. Yeah. I would love it if she went all the way around. It would be very funny just trying to play with mom and be like, ha! You think that I can't eat from this side. And actually when she got it and she started moving it, I think she was actually trying to move it away from her mother so she could carry on eating. But it seems like Shadow's being a good mother now and she's plucking some more of the hair. So I just saw a little bit of fluff coming out of her mouth and she's carried on eating. Maybe just trying to clean up the hair. So she's moving it around. So she uses her tongue, that's very rough, to try and get all of the hair out so that she can get to the skin a little bit easier and then obviously start cutting through the skin. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to go around or where she is because there are quite a few stumps and it's quite a secluded spot, and very likely that's the reason why she chose this particular spot to leave the kill. Also, I don't think she killed this Tiamat too far from here. But it would prove quite difficult for us to try and get there, and I think we would disturb them more than anything, which I don't really want to do. I think that she's done a very good job, so rather not get in her way. Are you going to move the kill now? Maybe she would want to teach the cub a lesson and just take it away. Be like, you don't want to share, you don't get dinner. Our beard, you are wondering if hoisting is an instinct or if it's learned behavior from the cubs, saying that Shadow normally doesn't hoist her kills. I think it's a bit of both. I think it's a lot of instinct, but it's also learned behavior because we know her sister Tandy does hoist her kills quite often. So, well, at least as far as I know. So if I'm being wrong, please correct me using the hashtag Safari Live. But as far as I know, Shadow is very well known for never hoisting her kills, and I think that's just something very particular about her, but it's also area dependent. So animals learn very quickly by experience that if they put their kills, or animals, leopards, that if they put them up trees and that they won't have to worry too much about other potential predators coming and stealing their kill. But in areas, for example, where you don't have many hyenas, there are less leopards that will hoist their kills, and it's widely documented. In this particular area, because we have the numbers of hyena that we do, often you'll see that they'll put them up in the tree. So I think it will be quite interesting later on to actually see if the cub does decide to be like its mother and it learns that, well, you know, if my kill just gets stolen, I'll just go and make a new one. Or if it'll actually try and be more like its grandmother and perhaps even like its aunt and distant relatives in the same lineage to try and put them up trees. Because I'm sure eventually Shadow will like put something up there and then just show her. But they're very protective of their kill, so I think perhaps instinct plays a bigger part and then just experience from there. I think she's just crushing bone now. Beautiful. Seems like Tayla McCurdy is having a lot of fun today out in the Masai Mara, just as we are with these beautiful two girls. So it seems like she's got an odd combination of creatures. A very big one and some very, very lazy ones. So let's go over to her and find out who the real king of the jungle is.
Decided to call it an early evening. It's a hippopotamus who's just exited the water. Oh, and look, lions. So we're at the Angamas, and it doesn't look like they've eaten anything just yet. They have moved quite far off of the road, and I think this is our hippopotamus that we sung the song, "She's a lady," but then we had to change the lyrics to, "He's not a lady," because we discovered that it was a young male hippopotamus. I'm sure it's the same one, and we know that he loves to live in this lug, and we actually see him almost every single evening. He goes about his grazing. He doesn't seem to be too fazed with Angama Pride, so I think the two of them have an understanding where he kind of says, I'm just going to leave you alone and graze along the lugger and eat the lovely green grass, and if your cubs chase me, I will chase them back. So hopefully the adults have told the youngsters to leave the hippopotamus alone because it's a dangerous toy to play with, and they go about their day. I mean, you can see the Angama's not even staring across at him, and the hippo is completely oblivious to the lion. So I'm sure it knows that it's there, but it just knows that it's got nothing to worry about. So I thought that's quite nice. Here's a little teddy bear. There's two little teddy bears on the mound with one of the adults. And it's starting to rain. We haven't quite got the downpour that Jamie seems to have trapped herself in, although she didn't do it on purpose. The rain trapped her. So it's drizzling, a bit harder than a drizzle, I'd say. So for now, we're okay. We've managed to close 3 out of the 4 sides, and we've got one of the sides open, which we're obviously filming out of. But I really hope it doesn't get too hard, because then we're going to have to close everything and sit in our tent and get nice and warm, because it's exceptionally hot in this tent, because we've got the one with the fancy roof that hopefully all the other vehicles will have shortly. Now, proud cat mama, you're wondering, other than man, do the lions have any other predators? Most certainly, other lions are a big threat. Buffalo, big threat to lions. Hyena clans, massive hyena clans versus, 1 or 2 hyenas. Definitely. And leopards to an extent, to young lions could cause a bit of trouble. And then elephants can quite easily trample lions if they really wanted to. So there definitely are threats around here. Even the river is a threat to the lion. They could drown the young cubs, maybe, trying to escape danger, and mom leads them through treacherous water and one drowns. So I suppose there's many different things out here. You just got to think about how dangerous it is really out in the wild. So yeah, there's many things that could harm a lion. But for now, they're safe in their domain, just scanning about, and I'm sure those lionesses must be starving by now, because they ate a wildebeest, but that was for all of them and the cubs plus 3 male lions, so that's not particularly much at all if you think about it. Not great, is it? So they'll need to catch something hopefully tonight. They tried this morning, they chased after the wildebeest, and maybe they would have tried throughout the day too. We just weren't sitting with them the whole day, but it doesn't look like they were successful. They have moved the cubs though, but perhaps they're moving them closer because they're wanting to maybe go a little bit further away. Maybe they're heading to a different area in order to try and catch something, because there isn't much around here at the moment. Everything knows that the lions are here, so why would the prey species hang about? So they need to venture off, maybe to the hills, a little, 24-hour holiday, let the plains replenish themselves and come back down and try again. Or maybe they catch something up in the hills. That's also a possibility. Now, I believe that you're all saying that it's quite lush out here. It is. It's after all the rain we've had. It's absolutely beautiful. It's been amazing to see the change. I didn't think I was going to see a change at all, from the lovely yellow grass to, all this green. The trees have all getting leaves now. All the branches seem to be plumping up a bit. It's very nice. And, we've just had another downpour too, adding to it. Now, I'm just going to sit like this way because it's more comfortable. Mr. Hubble, you're wondering if lions can swim? They most certainly can. Most of the cat species are actually really good at swimming. They just prefer not to have to go through it. Especially if you've got young cubs, you wouldn't want to put them in danger of something like that. I mean, there's crocodiles, there's hippos. Again, the current is very strong at the moment, so it would be silly to cross with young cubs. But say if it was a new coalition of males coming through here, and their only chance of getting away with their cubs, they might take that the dip through the river and try and get through to the other side. But lions even swim the Sabi sand, the sand river and the Sabi river. I talk about the Southern Pride quite a bit, and the oldest lion in that pride, Mandlev, she is a regular of crossing the Sabi river. So water is no strange to lions, just obviously there's more water in certain areas and they become used to it. So in Zambia, the lions used to, in the Lozambizi National Park, we'd often get lions swimming across from Mana Pools, on all other parts of, not just Mana Pools, but the other reserves in Zimbabwe too. They'd come across and they'd go back and forth on a regular basis. And then of course Botswana and the Delta. The lions like to swim there. I don't think they like to swim. They never look very pleased when they are wading through the water. I think they know all the dangers that lurk in the dark corners, just like I do. But Ali, however, is sitting with beautiful cats of her own. So let's go have a look at Shadow and her cub.
Yes, we are still looking at this beautiful leopard, still feeding. She has actually been kind enough to turn around, and she's not giving us a bum look anymore. Now we can actually see her head. But talking about heads, we were having a discussion because we can't quite figure out where the head of the steenbok has gone off to. So we think she might actually be feeding close to where the head was, because I see little leaves around that appear to be head, but then I have a closer look and then it's definitely not the head. So I normally start feeding around the stomach or the softer parts, which is normally the bottom side of where the meat is a little bit softer and easier to bite, but I just think that she's actually started around the neck, so I'm a little bit confused about everything that's going on. Hello, beautiful ones. Now, they're still there in shadows, actually. Oh, every now and again, she'll carry on feeding, and then she's fine, and then she goes like this, and then whoops, something sounds, and then she just looks around, makes sure that there's nothing else around her that is not supposed to be there, or that could be a potential threat to her, and then she carries on eating. So I think, actually, she's decided the cub has had enough, and that it is her turn to start feeding. So one of the other vehicles, as you guys can hear, is moving out, so I'm gonna wait for them to reposition, so to see if maybe we can have a bit of a different angle, a different look. Oh, or maybe Shadow's going to be super nice and show us the head of the steamboat, which has become a bit of a mystery right now. There is something, because every now and again I also think that I hear hyenas, so I wonder if perhaps there isn't something that she can hear that's bothering her a little. And funny enough, just for the sake of irony, no, so she actually took the head off. She's actually gone and done the very leopard thing of started eating through the stomach. She hasn't taken the stomach contents out. Perhaps that's what she's trying to do now by breaking it open, and she started feeding on the rump of the steenbok, which is normally softer meat, easier for her and the cub to eat. But I think the real game is on now, and she's going to try to open it up and get the stomach contents out. And then we'll see what she chooses to do, because she's a bit of a uncommon leopard in the way that she treats some of her kills. So a lot of the times what they'll do is when they take the stomach out, either they remove their kill somewhere else so that the other potential predators cannot smell the kill, or they actually start covering it with grass, which is quite it's quite funny to watch. There we go. I think now she's definitely gotten into it. Now, where? It's funny because we often see the steenboks on drive and we're like, oh, it's such a pretty, cute little animal, you know, it's just a snack for a leopard. But if you think about it, for these two leopards, it's actually quite a nice meal. We'll maintain them and sustain them for a few more days at a time. Now, where is my... Hello, Shadow. She keeps looking in that direction, so I wonder if maybe there's something there. Jub, you're wondering if this is Shadow's first cub, the one that we're seeing with her. No, it's definitely not her first cub. In the time that I've been in the northern Sabi Sand, she's had quite a few, but for one reason or the other, she doesn't seem to be that successful in raising cubs. Sometimes I think some of the elements are against her. I know that there was a suspicion that some of her cubs might have died because they were in a pipe and then there was a flood. And now she's got this little ones, and then it just happens, unfortunately. There's a high mortality for small predators like leopard cubs and lion cubs and even hyena cubs. So I think it's maybe a bit of bad luck. Sometimes their motherhood skills are not the best. But it's been Shadow in particular. It's been a source of ongoing debate. But funny enough, when I first arrived in the northern Sabi Sand, the very first leopard that I saw was Shadow and her older cub, which actually made it to adulthood. That's called, or it's known as Sindile. So she was actually my very first leopard around this area. Her and, well, he was already a sub-adult male leopard, not really a youngster anymore, at least not as small as this one. So, just to go back to your question now, this is not her first cub. She's had a few in between. But this is her latest or her last litter, and she will be with this little one until either she raises it successfully to adulthood, which we're all hoping for, or if anything should happen to the cub, which we really don't want it to happen, then very likely she'll go back into heat, into estrus, she'll mate again, and then she'll have her next litter of cubs. Now this is getting a bit gruesome because I can see she's pulling out all of the internal organs. I can see a little bit of the intestine, so if this is a bit gruesome for you, please do look away. It is very raw sometimes, and sometimes it's just not the prettiest look. But this is how our animals survive, and feeding off the organs of the animals, it is a crucial part because there are so many. It's a very, how can I put this? It's a very fine balance between how much meat they have to eat, but also how many other ingredients they have to eat, because they need the calcium, they need the phosphorus, they need the gut bacteria. So they have to feed on all these different things just to maintain a healthy condition. Now, the only part that they really will not eat is the stomach or the stomach contents, because it's pretty much grass inside there. But even sometimes, if they're not feeling well or if they're under a stressful dietary situation, then you will see them eating a little bit of the stomach contents as well. And they will, of course, they don't eat the intestines or the inside of the intestines all that much. So now she's busy starting to take some of the organs out. So like I said, if this is a bit too much, please do look away. However, this is how our beautiful creatures do survive out here. And everything is food to them, and everything carries a nutritional value for them. Casson from Denmark, hello. You're wondering how long will this kill keep the two of them fed? Well, if we're lucky and if she doesn't get her kill stolen from anything else, likely she's gonna be here tomorrow, I would say, probably in the morning, if they're still very full. But I don't think that this is gonna sustain them for more than a day, because it is still a small creature. They managed to hunt one of the smallest, or perhaps the smallest species of antelope we get around here. So while it might be a good meal for the two of them, because they're not, well, the cub is still small and Shadow is not one of the biggest female leopards around here, it won't last them for too long. Oh, I think I finally see the ear of the steenbok. So the head is still there. Oh, is that a leaf? It's an ear. They have put an end to the head mystery. Now, I think it could be that Shadow was also being a good mother in the sense that she realized the cub doesn't have the strength or the knowledge to open it up and get everything out. So, maybe that's why she decided to take it from the cub. Rashni, you're wondering if the leopards will eat the brain of their prey. Well, some of them do. I've actually seen Tingana do it before with a warthog head, and there are nutrients everywhere, but it's not that common. Normally they'll prefer to feed on other things and won't really try to get through the skull, because it's a lot of effort trying to opening the skull, and then they will leave it and feed off the rest of it. But having said that, it's also not uncommon or unheard of them actually feeding on the brain. I think the cub at the back is getting a little bit hungry. We see its head poking from behind the tree every now and again. I think she can also smell that there are a lot of... Hello, beautiful. There are a lot of organs. There's a lot more blood out there, so I'm sure she can smell it and she's curious and she wants to have a bit of a bite. But I think Mama Shadow is now claiming all of the food. Are you gonna make your way? Look at all those tiny little spots at the back. She's being very cheeky. I'm sure she's just been like, Mom, I'm hungry. Of course she had to choose the one lug that covers all of her face. Just pretending to be invisible. I'm sure she's learned it from her mother already. Now we can see just how quickly the carcass is going down. Yeah, maybe Shadow will forget that she is there. Now there's not too much, as you can see. Now that she's finally opened it up, like we can tell that there's a lot of that was part of the stomach, a lot of the organs, but perhaps not that much meat. And like we said, everything is quite dry around here, so the food sources for all the animals are quite limited. So the animals are not, or the prey species are not as fat, I want to say, as they could potentially be, or not as healthy, not in good condition as they could normally be. So perhaps there's a little bit less meat here that they would find somewhere in other times of the day. Sorry, I'm just laughing because I'm just seeing the cub's face just staring in Shadow's direction. I'm so unimpressed with life right now. She's just like, Mom, honestly. Maybe she's heading into her teenage phase, where she just wants to eat. And we can see the sun is finally going down a little bit more. Or, well, starting to disappear behind the clouds. Beautiful setting, this one. This is a very typical sunset. James, you're saying the cub is already showing signs of holding her own because she's a feisty little thing. I agree. She even tried it. Unfortunately, she's still a little bit too small, but I think she even tried grabbing that kill and tried to pull it away from Mom because she knew that Shadow was coming back for the kill. So she is definitely trying, which I think it's probably good for her and just shows that she's a very, first of all, very clever little thing, but also very strong in the way that she approaches things. So she's not afraid of Mom. It's like, oh, you want to growl? Fine, I'm going to try and take it away from you before you even have a chance. But she is definitely quite an interesting character. Lots of personality coming through those little spots over there hiding behind the tree. Now, I think Shadow means business because she has gone on to feeding again while the sun still shines in the distance. Oh, it is very beautiful. Almost looks like a jungle. Alright, but it seems like Shadow's still trying to get the carcass open. Woo! Look at that! If only Shadow could see it, Senso. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for being grateful for what we've just seen. Like, very nice to see, and I'm sure it puts everyone at ease to know that she's got a kill, and that she's eating, and that the cub is here, and that it's a good family reunion, and that everything seems to be going well for this particular leopard unit. She is definitely trying to get that open. From me or from Lou? I'm a bit confused about the handle. Alright, sorry. Louise was giving me a very strange update or a question, and she was like, question from me, from myself. And I'm like, is that a Twitter handle or is that actually Lou? So Lou is wondering if leopards will hunt bigger things or bigger prey when they've got cubs. Well, they will definitely try to make bigger kills. Like an impala is a very good thing to it, but it also depends on every single individual's limitations. So killing something like an impala or a bigger antelope than a steenbok is first prize because they'll be able to feed off it for a lot longer and they can both have a very nice meal, and then she won't have to hunt again. But whereas she manages to do that every time she goes hunting, and that's a bit of a debate because also they are quite opportunistic animals. So if they've got the opportunity to hunt 3 steenbok before they've got the opportunity to actually go and hunt an impala, likely they're going to go for the 3 steenbok because they're an easier kill, because they spend a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to bring every animal down. So I think in Shadow's case, like if she does manage, she will try to go for something larger, but if the opportunity for more smaller things or for smaller things is the one that is presented to her, then that's what she's going to take. I think that it's more of it's not a thought process as in like, if I work a little bit harder but I'll bring an impala down, I'll be able to feed for longer. It's more as in like, what can I hunt or what can I try an approach that I'm going to be able to kill and then for eat. So I think that's more the train of thought for any of these particular predators. But obviously, the smaller the prey, the more often she's going to have to hunt. I do think, however, that she was on an impala kill recently. I remember seeing something on social media because we follow, obviously, all of the Facebook and Instagrams and Twitters and everything of all the lodges around, just to be able to keep tabs on all the different animals and their movements and what they do and where they go. As they are pretty much the celebrities on our life out here in the bush. We all want to know what they're doing and just know that they're doing well and what's been happening with them. Seems like these beautiful girls are going to still be here for a little while, but I would prefer to leave them before the sun goes down completely. So we're going to say goodbye to these beautiful leopards and go over to Jamie in a rainy Mara.
I'm really thrilled to hear that Shadow's cub is doing so well, and of course Shadow is herself. We are having a fun time here. The rain is coming in fits and starts. At the moment, we've just got showered and then it stopped again, so we're able to show you just how stunning the sky looks, and also to show you what's coming our way. I can't really work out which direction this rain is coming from. It appears to be attacking us from every angle. That's south, but Brent tells me it's coming in from the north as well. It makes predicting things a bit hard. That's where we were, by the way. As you can see, it is now basically underwater, and that's going to make off-roading next to impossible. It is amazing. Oh, here it comes again. It's amazing just how quickly the soil becomes slippery sludge, and whilst it doesn't extend that deep, it really does become skid central. Unless you're very stupid and you drive through a big puddle and then you get stuck for 3 hours. But that was entirely my own fault. There you go. Balanites, rain, dark. I haven't quite worked out how we're going to use our infrared yet, because we can only keep one side partially open. Kestrel Fox? Let me listen. I can hear crickets. It's entirely possible that you were hearing frogs. We're not near a water source. Well, I mean, apart from, the fact that it's pouring with rain, but we're not near a water hole. There you go. We can have a look at our permit stickers briefly. I can't even see where the camera is. There it is. So essentially, the frogs often call after the rain. I've heard lots of cassinas, lots of, what are they called? Painted reed frogs calling. So we do get really, really lovely frog noises out here. I'm not hearing any at the moment. I can only hear the crickets. But I could probably find us a place where we could hear frogs, provided this... Oh, Ferg, look out. It's dripping. No, don't drip in there. Drip that way. Oh, dear. Okay. This is not how I was intending the afternoon to go. Our poor blue tarpaulin has failed us. It's got a little bit old and a little bit ragged. I think, Ferg, I don't know how you feel. No, we should be okay. Now you can't film anything outside. Yeah, I think we've pretty much...
Film the grass.
You can film the grass. Well, you can actually, as long as the wind blows the water into us, you can film...
Seems like the gremlins live in the water. Too bad. I'm sure Jamie's going to be able to fight them off. Sounds like they've got quite the downpour down there. But I've put on my jersey. We have decided to leave Shadow and the cub to settle their their family disputes over dinner. But last we saw, Shadow had definitely moved on to feeding on some of the organs, so I'm sure she's going to be very happy. And we thought it was a perfect time to then maybe go and see the Styx and see what they've been up to. They were found earlier on this afternoon, but with the news of Shadow crossing to the property, well, it was such a good opportunity, we couldn't really let it pass, because Shadow is very hard to find more often than not, and that's why she has a name for any new viewers around. Normally the animals will get a name or an ID that relates somewhat to their character or the area that they're in, or particular story from their youth, and Shadow is known as a Shadow because she's very hard to find, which I think makes her a very cool leopard, because it just gives back this idea that leopards are very elusive creatures. And I can tell you, I did suffer when I wasn't here for a few weeks, because I went to quite a few different reserves, and we get so spoiled here just to be able to see a leopard and her cub feeding just like that. I've been to places where I've just been tracking and looking, and there's nothing because the leopards are skittish and they don't like to be seen by vehicles, or you find one and it's just so far away. So it's actually, Sabi Sand and Djuma is a wonderful place in that regard, that we get to see them and spend so much time with them and just learn about their behavior. It's something that you don't get in every other reserve, and I think it's one of the things that makes this particular area of the Greater Kruger such a special place, because I think it was a good reminder of just, for me at least, how special leopards are. Just going on safari for so many weeks and just seeing no leopards whatsoever. The tracks were there, the dung was there, the sewing was there, but it was just pretty much impossible to find them. So I think it was a good reminder for me just to be able to appreciate it more. And then when I drove through the gate, all I wanted to do was just like face plant on the floor and just kiss the sands and be like, I'm so happy to be back. So yay. Now even more spoiled with beautiful shadow. No, there's nothing here. Amika, you're wondering what my favorite animal here in Djuma is. I don't know. That's a very tough question, actually. I don't really know. Sorry, I'm just trying to focus because I haven't been here for a while, so I don't remember all the roads and I've got to think about them. I don't think I've chosen, like, I think the buffalo are probably the lower ranging ones in my appreciation, just because, I don't know, I don't find them the coolest ones. I'm sorry for the buffalo, but obviously all sorts of cats are very high, and elephants of course, and it's very tough to tell. I don't know, like the cats, the hyenas, and the wild dogs of course. I can see the vehicle. I'm just trying to find out where they're looking from, so we are in the spot where the lions have been found. So I haven't seen the Styx in quite a long time. I really want to see how they're doing, but it's just a very tight spot apparently, and I just want to see how we're going to be able to get in here so that we are able to see them. But perhaps, let's see if we can go around here. I don't know if we're going to be able to go through there, but let's try. Alright, so yes, like I was saying, I don't really know which one is my favorite. I don't have one individual in particular that is my favorite. I have a few at the moment, or some that I'm just like, you are very nice, very cool to watch. Alright, let's see if we can get through here, hopefully without getting the lions to eat me. I can see a white something. I'm sure that's a white something of a lion. I have also really missed this tiny little short-wheeled Land Rovers because they just get in everywhere. It's fantastic for the job that we do. I do see a lion already. Woohoo! Hello, lion! Hello, Styx! Hello, Gabby! Alright, just gonna go very, very slowly here as they are here. Oh, okay. Tough one. Center, I think this could probably be the best spot for you for now, for everyone to have a look at what seems to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubs and 1 adult lioness. They must have been so close to where we were driving, and we just missed them by an inch when we went off-roading earlier. Hello, beautiful lions. Good to see some of you grooming and moving and doing stuff. I wonder where the rest of them are, because the Styx, if I'm not mistaken, it's 4 females. 3 females. I always get confused. You see, I haven't been here for a while, and now I need to remember all of them, which is wonderful. Like, it's the best study that I could potentially do. Oh, there's another head at the back that I hadn't seen earlier. Well, it's very nice to see you guys. I wonder where the other females are. I'm sure they're somewhere around here, just perhaps a little bit more towards the back. Hello. Ooh, stretchy, stretchy. Somebody's getting ready. Now, they do appear to have some mange, which is a type of mite that goes into their skin and just makes them have like all these calves and lose hair and so on. But I was actually expecting it to be a lot worse than what I'm seeing. So maybe this is not the individual that's the worst, but the fact that they are a lot bigger, it could be better for them just to be able to survive. And the fact that also combined that the rainy season is not too far from here. So once it starts raining, it's almost like they get a very good bath. And once they get a very good bath, then that also helps them all together. And for everyone that's just joining the channel or that is new, so it's not a deadly, in most cases, unless the infection gets very bad, it's not often a deadly situation for the lions, although we've had cubs in this particular pride die of mange last year. But it is a natural thing that occurs in this particular area, and this is the reason why the reserve chooses not to treat them or not to intervene. Also, I think from an ethical perspective, might just be, I don't know if ethical is the right word though, but just to be able to treat them, very likely all of them would have to be sedated and put under anesthesia just to be able to be treated. So I don't know if that would actually cause a little bit more stress to them. So I am hoping, I'm sending all my positive vibes that they're going to be doing a little bit better. I actually don't think that they look all that bad. Obviously they could look a little bit healthier, but I think there is quite a bit of hope. I think this female has just moved up to the back where potentially the other females are. So I just want to try and see if I can squeeze through here. What is this? Oh, it's a stump. Let's try not to get a flat tire. Hello, pretty lion cubs. They are looking very big from the last time I saw you guys. You were still balls of fluff. And now you're becoming little lions. Just like little leopard. Alrighty. Kate, you said that you didn't realize that the Styx had so many cubs, that you thought they only had 3. Well, I think it's because their last litter was 3, so the smaller ones were 3, so I think those ones were the ones that maybe you thought were in, but they had previous cubs from previous litter that are still around, and then you can see just how much bigger they are in comparison to the other ones. Hello, little lion cub. Now, the mothers are somewhere behind. I think they've actually carried on walking, if I'm not mistaken, because I can't see them from here anymore. I do hope that you guys are going to be fine, because you can see the different lesions, the scabs that it's forming in its skin and everywhere else. And unfortunately, the unfortunate thing about mites is that they're highly contagious. So all they have to do is rub against each other, and like they'll give mites from one another, from the cubs to the mother, from the mothers to the cubs. And then it's a type of parasites that's able to survive on its own out there in the bush, and it will go from one species of animal to another one. So it can jump from an impala to a lion, from a lion to a leopard, just by being roughly in the same area. Now, I'm pretty sure the rain we had the other day helped you guys, and we are all hoping that you are going to be fine, because you are a lot older than what I thought, which is also good. Donna, can lions outgrow mange, you ask? A lot of them do. So this is the thing. I was actually reading a very interesting study about mange today, because always curious about why it seems to affect this particular pride, or why does it affect certain animals, why do some animals recuperate from it. And it's funny because a lot of research has been put into it, but nobody's actually 100% sure. So it's a constant debate as to why mange affects certain creatures, why it affects only certain individuals and not everybody else, and so on. So in a lot of the cases, because it's a mite that starts attacking their immune system, if they are older, like these cubs are now, that they are much older than when we first saw the Styx with the mange, I think it was last year, that they were smaller cubs and under a lot more stress, I would say. You see this, there's one that's looking actually very stunning. So if they have enough of a response from their immune system towards the mites, they can actually pretty much repel them and outgrow them, and just have it in lower quantities where it won't affect the general condition of the creature. However, if they are under a lot of stress, and it's particularly visible, I was reading in the study, it's particularly visible in cubs because they are at the lower hierarchy, if I can put it that way, of the social structure. So they'll have more stress in terms of like social relationships, or they'll perhaps feed a little bit less, and so on and so on. So they can just fight it off themselves, and often they do. A lot of creatures often do it, but if there's a certain set of conditions that will add onto their stress, be it dietary stress, being social stress, or any other particular type of stress that the animal might be experiencing, then that becomes harmful to them, and it can lead onto a whole different things. Alright, where are you guys going? Seems like our lions are heading onto the darkness, and Jamie is also driving in the darkness. So I'm going to actually try and reposition, see if we can find them from a different point of view, and hopefully have another look. And while we do that, let's see if we can find Jamie.
You know, I have to tell you, I think I know who the culprit is for this afternoon's weather. And I think she even admitted to it a little bit earlier. So at the start of drive, I asked Alice, who is directing us from Mara this afternoon. Obviously the Djuma team is directing, and Alice is in Mara, keeping them informed of what's going on with us. But I asked Alice if she had any song recommendations for our drive down to the gate. And she suggested Here Comes the Sun. Now, I thought that was a very good suggestion at the time, and I really enjoyed it. And then I think it somehow angered the weather gods, because this has been the opposite of Here Comes the Sun. But what we're doing is we're making a break for it. We're trying to get a little bit closer to home while the rains let up, but it's starting to rumble with thunder, and I think this is going to be the weather for the rest of the afternoon. Our covers are now in outright rebellion. They're flying all over the place. The wind is picking up. Fortunately, we've got bungee cords holding everything in place, which, as we know from experience, is not in any way dangerous. Not at all. Fergie, ready to duck at the slightest need. Because that one will fly towards you. I think these two will go outwards. Not sure about the one in the middle. We'll find out. Depends which side breaks, I suppose. I got a windscreen, so I should be alright. Oh, goodness. Or the alternative is we might just take off. It could happen. You know what I have noticed, though? So while we drive along, oh, what's going on there? Zebra running in front of me. What I have noticed is that typically when we're driving along, our roof goes flap, 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 flap. And this whole setup seems to have stopped that process. But I'm actually quite happy, because the flap, 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 flap was driving me nuts. Oh boy. You know, if we directed these covers properly, I'm pretty sure we could sail home. Fergus agrees. Or we could sort of Mary Poppins ourselves to the top of the hill. Oh, Lana. The question on everybody's minds, probably not everybody, but Ilana is one of our regular viewers, and she wants to know if I've seen an aardvark in the Mara. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think the only person who's seen an aardvark in the Mara is Brent. I, of course, will be the last person to see an aardvark, because I've got some kind of aardvark, I don't know what you call it. I don't think there's such a thing as an aardvark curse, but I feel as though I have one. I have not seen an aardvark. I have actually never seen, confession, I've never seen an aardvark in my entire life. I don't know how. I've worked in places that are world famous for aardvark sightings. I have been with scientists on an aardvark capture. Yet somehow, obviously the aardvark capture failed. Somehow I'm not lucky. And I would say, Ilana, tonight is probably the least likely night for me to see one, unless it somehow magically appears in the middle of the road, which I really hope it doesn't do. My field of vision is quite limited, hence the very slow movement. Imagine if we did see an aardvark now. It would be absolutely classic. Those moments occasionally happen on Safari Live. Every now and again. You never know. The thing is, I can't really spotlight, can I? Because Stick the spotlight out the side. Oh, that's actually genius. Don't worry, Ferg. You can't operate a camera and a spotlight.
I'm
Multi-talented. Oh, drip. Oh, thank you very much, Proud Cat Mama. This is a kukoi that I got in Diani Beach. So Proud Cat Mama's saying that she likes the scarf that I'm wearing. It's a kukoi that I got in Diani, and I have to tell you, because you know what Brent is like with his bright coloured kukois and shukas, I have to tell you that it has been quite jealously guarded to stop him from stealing it. And he's got one very similar, and he keeps thinking that I've stolen his, and I know this is mine. And I mean, even more inconveniently, I've got a blue one that Jerry and I both went off, and we both bought exactly the same one. So we have to be cautious. Please let there be something on the left, because that's all the spotlighting I can do. I could probably... No, wait. Okay. Stand by. Stand by. I could probably... Oh, goodness, there goes the spotlight. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Maybe. Oh. In the darkness. Find us an art park. Okay, I'm gonna continue to search for the art park. I'm gonna get Ferg to help me. Let's go back across to Ali, who's managed to stick with her lions.
Jamie, you're so funny. Yes, we have managed to find the sticks, or stick with the sticks through the sticks. Haha, how's that? Didn't see that one coming, did you, Lou? So they are busy heading slowly towards Treehouse Dam, and apparently there's been a leopard found at Treehouse Dam. So it's a young male leopard, so I'm thinking either Hosanna or Tamba. I'm more inclined to say Hosanna, because apparently his tracks were somewhere around that area this morning, or around Twin Dams, and I'm sure he saw me drive past. Little cheeky leopard. But like I said, the lions are still quite far away, so I'm sure there's just a bit of anticipation in the air, but maybe the lions will go somewhere else, and then of course we'll keep everyone updated as to what happens. Now I want to stick with the sticks with the lions, just to see what they do or where they go, and just to be able to have a bit of an idea, because also we haven't spent too much time with them, and it's also nice to see them. Tristan tells me all this, what I think are legends, about how when he used to work at Chitwa, the sticks were the dominant part of lions and on Djuma, and not the Nkahumas. And I always laugh, because I said to him, I have never ever seen them on Djuma. I'm not too sure what you're saying, and look at them today. They're pretty much in the middle of Djuma. Now, where are you girls going, and why are you going that way? Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go around, because it seems like now they're heading north. So I sort of just want them to carry on that way, so that they don't even go to that young leopard or to Shadow and the cub. Where are you girls going? Alright, we are heading onto the road once more. Watch out here. Sorry, Senzo. Yeah, hello cubbies. On the road. I think the cubs are not in the mood to start moving around, because the two of them have just laid down, and I see one of the females is carried on going, or she seems to want to carry on going east, or at least two of them actually, now that I can see them properly. And the cubs are trailing very lazily behind. Oh, hello beautiful girl. Are you done now? They do seem to be in a bit of a mission and moving. And of course, as soon as I say that, they all lay down and pretend that this has never happened. They are looking in that direction, so I wonder if whatever it is that Shadow is listening or she could hear earlier, it's not the same as to what they are, because whatever it was, it's now, or in between. They're still quite far away from each other, but they're still in between all of them. Now we've got all the cubs here, and they're also attentively listening to what might be lurking in that particular area. Didn't we pass that big herd of impala earlier? Also, I think that's maybe what they're after. There was a massive herd of impala not too far from here. And there were, of course, the giraffe that we saw earlier on. So I wonder if they're not looking for something like that too, because they've also got cubs of their own that they have to feed. And I do think that this lion cubs eat a lot more than Shadow's cub, because they are probably already double her size, and there are about 5 of them. 5? I've counted 5 or 6. Hello, pretty cubs. Seems like they're still quite lazy. I think probably they didn't have such a nice nap as they normally do. And because they've moved throughout the day, it's just like, oh, now we have to get going, and we have to move, and we're tired. Hello, little one. Although, judging by that belly, it seems like you guys have eaten something. So it's not like you guys have been starving or anything. Very pretty boy. Karsten from Denmark, you're wondering how good a lion's eyesight is at night. Well, it's a lot better than ours, and they can pick up a lot more detail than what we do in a lot of movement. They have a bit of a different eye structure to what we do, and I would say our eyesight is more comparable to the one of the antelope and the species that move around during the day. And lions and leopards and hyenas and some other creatures, they've got at the back of their eye, they've got a second layer, if I can call it that. That's called the tapetum lucidum, and that acts as a reflective layer to pass light a second time through the retina from low light conditions. So actually, it is believed that, or according to a lot of scientific studies, that this is a perfect time for lions and leopards to go out hunting, because our eyes still haven't adjusted to nighttime, but there's a little bit of light still, whereas they can already see a lot better than us. So, yes, come our way. Woohoo! Let's go for a drink. Let's all meet at Treehouse Dam. Look at that pretty cub playing around. Are you coming this way? It's quite intimidating having a fully grown female lion coming our way. Are you coming? It is wonderful having them walk so close to us. Now I can see Treehouse Dam from here, and I think this is exactly where they're going. So if we do get them all drinking from the pan, I think, you know, and Senso, you and I are going to have a drink to join them, because how amazing would that be to have Shadow and the cub, and then the Styx and their cubs all drinking from Treehouse Dam. Wonderful. It's amazing, because now, oh, hello, yawning lady. Now they mean business. They were tired, and then all of a sudden, what I believe is probably the most dominant female, she's gotten up, and she's headed off, and she's gone to the water. Now, I'm gonna wait for them to pass us, because it is a very thrilling experience having them so close to us, but I'm very happy that I'm not on foot, because I would be terrified right now if that were the case. To then reverse and go to the dam, because I'm sure they're gonna go for a drink, because they're heading straight in that direction. Now we've got the last renegade cub, probably one of the ones with the biggest personality, and they're heading onto the dam. Hello, cub. Alright, so he's gone off, and now I'm going to have to change our position from here so that we follow them. Now I just want to give Herbie an update. Herbie, Herbie? Are you still with that Madonna Ingwe? Yeah, the Angala, you should see them in the next minute or so. Alright. Okay, copy. The Angala are pretty much there. Alright, so it seems like there is a leopard on the dam wall, so hopefully we're gonna tense situation here. We're obviously going to give everyone a lot of space, and we are still far away from where the leopard is. Alright, I'm going to wait for them to go a little bit away. I don't think Herbie's got an ID just yet on that particular leopard, but hopefully if we do see it from where we are, we'll try to zoom in and just have a bit of an idea. There's quite a distance still between the two of them, so I think whoever it is would probably have enough of a chance to see the lions approaching, and more than that, I think the lions are just interested in going down for a drink. So I can't see it from here. Okay. Alright. Okay, the update from Herbie is that the leopard, whoever it was, has seen the lions and has just gone running onto the drainage line, has carried on running east away from them, which is good because we don't want them to meet. I suppose we don't, because that would be quite stressful, but just have a look at this view. Ooh. Come on, lions! Oh my god, this is such a beautiful sight of all of them drinking. Okay, we have switched onto infrared in case you were wondering why everything is looking of a particular color, but how is that for a view? Ah, this is gorgeous. Tristan's gonna be so jealous. This is incredible. What a pretty view of all of them together drinking. Woo! I'm actually gonna try and shut up, see if perhaps you guys can hear them drinking. Ooh, I already cannot wait to see all the screenshots and send them over to my family and be like, haha, I hope you guys enjoyed Monday. Look at all those tiny faces. Well, Treehouse Dam has certainly been the place to be today. Everyone's been coming around here for a drink, and then of course, because the conditions are getting a little bit worse for all of the animals around, there's not so much water readily available for everyone. They are all confined to the same areas for certain resources, in this case water in particular. So between here and, well, Twin Dams, I would suppose it's the closest one, but from here to Buffelshoek Dam there's not really water anymore, and from here to probably One-Eyed Pan or one of the bigger pans in Arethusa there's also no water. Oh, you can hear them now. How cool is the sound of all of these lions drinking? What a sight. There's always one that's gotta be the strong, independent woman that's just away from the rest of the crowd. I think likely she was the thirstiest one. And she just got into this corner and she was like, ah, yes, water, thank you. I am actually quite surprised to see that Treehouse Dam still holds a little bit of water, but obviously spectacular for us, because then we've got them all drinking. Lucian, you're saying that they are so thirsty. Yes, I completely agree. They've been drinking, although it's not uncommon for cats to come to the water and drink as much as they have in one go. However, I think it's also they just haven't had a drink in the whole day, and it was very hot at one point, especially around midday, so I doubt that they came for a drink. Likely they just moved a little bit, they've been holding their thirst, and now they've come all the way down here and they've carried on drinking. It'll be interesting to see where these guys go now. I don't think they're going to go in the direction of where that leopard ran off to, hopefully not. And then they will all carry on and do their own thing. 3 little ones that are very, very thirsty. This is probably one of my best lion drinking sightings ever. I don't think we can complain at all. And now, of course, in a long lion line they go. The reflection of the water. I wish we could like turn the screen upside down or your camera upside down and then, you know, just make the whole world different. Seems like one of the girls has decided this is it. No more. I'm so tired. I haven't slept 18 hours yet. Funny enough, we didn't see a lot of creatures around here when we were driving this afternoon, because we've mostly been around the same area the whole afternoon, and we just saw that giraffe. We didn't see really many impala, no kudu. Not too many animals. So look at that pile of lions. So I wonder if they're going to carry on looking for food, or if they're perhaps going to carry on into the Malawati. That is wonderful, all of them together. How amazing is this? We've had a leopard and her cub come straight here, and then we have now the Pride of Lions, all of them together here. It just proves that waterholes are popular places, and we could have very easily missed it. Now I wonder where are you going? I can't see from here where they are going, so I'm gonna go around the other side. I think maybe some of them are also lying down again. So we're just gonna try and reposition and hopefully find another wonderful spot. Alright, let me try and get ourselves out of here. Rishi, you're wondering at what age will the cubs join the hunt? Well, they're still a bit too young. Normally when they're about a year old or so, they start joining, but they join as spectators, but they don't actively join, because when they start accompanying, they first have to learn how to hunt as a group, as a pride. Obviously, like leopard cubs do, they have the instinct and they know how to do certain things just by instinct, but because they all hunt together, then it takes a little bit of practice. So when they're about a year to 2 years old, then they start learning how to hunt with the rest of the pride, but they will just start as spectators, and often because they get so excited once they do start participating on the hunts, they normally tend to ruin the hunts for the rest of the pride, and you see the females get very angry and they start growling. But I would say between a year and a half, 2 years, that's when you actually will see them start actively participating in the hunts. But from this age, I'm sure they're already, if the hunts occur not too far from where the mothers are, I'm sure they already are left in a spot where they know not to move any forward, and then they stay there, and then the mothers go and carry on. Now I've got some lions in front of us, and they've gone down to this drainage line. So seems like they're just busy walking around. So let's see. I just want to quickly use the spotlight and see, because I can see them here. Ah, hello lions! And up they go, and they've carried on. So I wonder if they're actually not gonna go all the way to, because I see another lioness there actually. I wonder if they're gonna carry on going to Twin Dams. It seems to be their tracks came from there, funny enough. We had their tracks going south not too far from here on that crossing, so I wonder if they're gonna go onto the general direction and carry on moving there. We've got the little renegade here at the back that doesn't want to carry on moving. And now you've realized that you've been left behind, and then you're running home. Alright, let's carry on and see where they go. Okay, it seems like it's just us on our own. It's quite an... I think we can get away with trying to follow them on the road, because there's a big game path that they're following. Okay, I'm gonna try to... Sorry, I just want to try and find out from Herbie. Ah, they're all on the road now, all up ahead of us. Herbie, sorry, did you have an ID on that Ingwe from before? Okay, copy. Do you know if it was Hosanna? Okay, copy. Thank you. So yes, according to Herbie, it was Hosanna that saw the lions coming and then he ran onto safety. So hopefully he is safe somewhere. Because I think the Styx have changed the way that they're going. And it seems like they're going to cut across. And we're not too far from the boundary, so I wonder if they're going to carry on and maybe do another big loop around and then come back again so we can see them again tomorrow. Here, that's my wishful thinking. And you see, it's quite interesting where they are walking. They are just following a game path. Beautiful. I'm gonna follow these tiny little lion cubs and mothers for a little while longer just to see what they get up to and when they do. But I believe Jamie is playing with costumes and she wants to be a giant flapping thing, perhaps a very scary one. So let's go see what she looks like.
Oh, as the lions move off, the rain has moved off as well, but the wind has well and truly settled in. And I tried to get closer to show you some zebra, and I think they must have thought we were some kind of nightmare creature because they dashed off. And animals are nervous in the wind regardless, so they dashed off into the darkness. And, well, there's not much we can do about it now. Rain's coming back again. I could see more on the way through the darkness. So we're just going to we'll wait it out. We'll wait it out with our flapping monster rain covers. It's actually quite funny in its own way. Definitely entertaining. Chilly, but entertaining. Alright, let me see if I can find you something else along the way. I can see more animals up ahead, but I'm hesitant to try and approach them because I think they're just going to run away. The good thing about the wind is that it's going to dry the rain covers out properly because they were kind of a bit drippy. But now they seem to have been air dried. Here's the zebras up ahead. Maybe. I'm going to try and do this in a way that Ferg can aim the infrared light. Kate, you want to know if we're watching the invention of a new flying machine? Kate, that is actually what we're experimenting with. You've discovered our secret. Our plan eventually is to be able to bring you a combination of flying safari vehicle-based safaris. Flying vehicle, you get the idea. So essentially what that will mean is when we get to the Mara River and we see there's a crossing and they all go to the other side, then what we do is we deploy the covers and we wait for a suitable gust of wind to take us across the Mara River, and then we follow on, we land and we follow on from there. It is in its initial development stages. The other reason that we're experimenting with this is that it will cut down dramatically on our time to and from our camp, which of course leads to increased production value because we'll spend more time down here. So basically what we're doing is we're building a ramp. We're building a ramp outside Final Control. Don't know what I'm talking about. We're building a ramp outside Final Control. We have to fly off and then we just coast down slowly onto the valley floor. That's the idea anyway. That is all utter nonsense. Please don't take me seriously. We are not I assume you all know that. Riti's more serious question on a more serious, well, serious-ish note. The animals manage just fine in the rain. We would manage fine as well. We'd be a little bit chilly, but we're essentially waterproof. But unfortunately, our equipment is not. And so the animals, basically what they'll try and do is some of them will try and shelter, most of them will just stand out in the rain and look a little bit miserable. And for the predators, it's actually great hunting weather, especially wind like this, because it makes it really easy to sneak up on something. And I would almost guarantee that when we arrive back tomorrow, the Angamas will have killed something somewhere. It just increases their success rate so much more. So the lions enjoy it-ish. I mean, sometimes they look a bit miserable, but essentially they go and stand in the rain. I have been thoroughly unlucky this afternoon. I haven't managed to find you anything, and we've nearly blown away. But Tayla has been successful once again, and she's found you an animal that would love this weather.
Yes, I think our friend, he's not a lady, is enjoying this weather. He walks the same route all the time. It's actually fascinating. I wonder if he has worn himself a pathway. We'll have to have a look in the morning to see if we can see a prominent hippo path on the eastern side of the lugger going back towards the main road. That's where we saw him in the morning. I think I've seen him almost every single morning. I just haven't put him on camera every time. But off he goes on an adventure, looking for grass, hoping to not be harassed by lions. But hopefully the lions will have the buffalo and zebra to keep them entertained throughout the night. We lost our lions. Our lions disappeared, I think, too far off-road and in the center of this massive open plain because, there's a second hippopotamus. Scandalous. Where are they? I don't even know where you're looking anymore. Wow, they went around quite quickly. There's 2 hippos now. That's exciting. Looks like that one over there does not look very happy, giving his mate a death stare. Maybe they're not friends at all. That's quite interesting. So one's come from the escarpment coming down this way, and the other's has come from the lugger and going towards the escarpment. Because we catch that other hippo coming back to the water every single day. That's quite cool. And then they go. Well, they won't be too bothered by this weather. You might also hear some wonderful sound of Velcro. That is my roof. Where did they go? They're all moving away now. Oh, maybe you've set a safe pathway for hippo? I suppose. I think any pathway for a hippopotamus is relatively safe. There's very few things that will try and take them on. Don't put too much light on him. The hippo is exceptionally far away, so it's not really feeling too much of this beam. It's probably just because it's a little bit brighter and was just having a scan, wondering, what on earth is going on? And now this hippo seems to have relaxed slightly. It was very graceful going through that little dip there. Looks like there's a couple of bats and things flying around too. But not eating just yet, trying to find the perfect spot. Now, Riti, speaking of, their feeding habits, you're wondering if they only eat at night. No, they don't. They eat all the time, whenever they want to eat. So sometimes they feel, it's not too hot today. You know what? I'm going to have a little swim after... Not a little swim, but a little lounge around in the water after a long night out. And then, at 10 o'clock I'm going to get up and I'm going to have a snack and I'm going to graze along the banks of the river. And the reason they are able to feed during the day is because they don't have to travel far away from water during the heat of the day. They've got lovely, lush green banks filled with all sorts of delicious grass growing right on their doorstep. So they can literally just take 2 steps out of the water and stand and graze for half an hour, come back in when they feel as though they're getting a bit too warm. And they'll just do that. So we used to see it a lot in Zambia. We see it a lot here in Kenya too. It just doesn't seem to be too common in South Africa. I suppose because there's no big river systems or there's not too much water around at the moment. However, Ali has got something that would like to try and take a hippopotamus down, but would probably find it quite difficult.
Yes, well, Pride of Lions against a hippo, Tayla, I reckon that would be quite something. So we are still following the Styx, and they are still busy moving in this area, but I know the road's not far, so I'm actually trying to get out of this area so that I can follow them on the road, because they have dragged us, of course, through an area that's a bit thick in some spots. So, hopefully I'll be able to find a way out. Yeah, I think that if we go here, we'll be able to, and I can also keep an eye out on them, because I would love to have a nice view of all of them walking down the road towards us. And I'm not too sure if I have chosen the best path. So, because they are definitely following their own path. Amazing, look at this. Now I know when we're tracking that this is the road that I need to come and check out. Alright. I'm waiting for an opening onto this side because they are, all of them, walking in a very gentle line, all of them in front of us. Whoop. I think Sensor's going to switch on the IR so that we can try and see them because it's starting to be a bit dark. Okay, maybe that was a bit of a fail. Oh, there we go. I need to learn how to be more patient with the IR. Hello, pretty ones. And it's amazing because from where I stand with my own two eyes, I cannot see them. I have no idea where those lions are, but we see them almost bright as day with the IR, which is quite amazing. Alright, I think they are quite far from us, so we're gonna carry on, see if maybe we can have a view of them for the very last few seconds of drive. I think probably this is easier than having to carry the spotlight. But I don't know if... Oh my goodness. Maybe... Guys, I'm going to abandon you for the road. Okay, I can almost see the road. And I'm gonna head onto the road and hopefully in the last minute we'll be able to see them. Rashni, you say that the story of the lucky bean continues with or without them. Hopefully. Now the lucky beans just need to get me out of here with no flat tires. I am hoping that we're going to be able to have one last look at them. However, I think I might have misjudged the distance from the road to where the lions are. So the road is actually quite close now. But I just need to get out of here. As I am sure this is where the lions are going to be headed up. They are going to go onto the... Oh, sorry. Now I'm flashing people. Alright, well, if they're not going to go... The Angala, they're going to pop on this road a little bit further. Alrighty. Let's see, hopefully for the last very few seconds of drive, we'll be able to spot them again and say goodnight to the beautiful lions. I see their eyes in the distance. I think they are just going to carry on moving through the bushes. I see all of their eyes. Hopefully, let me see. Alright. Seems like they're heading away. Perhaps it's the best way to end up the night with a bit of a mystery. And we'll see all of you again tomorrow. Thank you for a wonderful drive.